hometown Hudson Raiders taking on the visiting River Falls Wildcats, a kind of a crosstown rivalry with River Falls being just south of the town of Hudson. So always a fun rivalry between these teams. On your screen, the Raiders are in blue and will be playing from left to right, and the Wildcats will be in white, playing from right to left. It was a rainy afternoon here in Hudson, but the weather is cleared and looks like we're going to have a good pocket of weather for tonight's game. This is the first round of the Big Rivers Conference playoff tournament, and should be a good game. Raiders did take the first win between these teams with a 4-0 victory down in River Falls a couple weeks ago. But every game is different, and we will see what happens tonight. Initial kickoff goes to the Raiders. Pushing the ball up the line to Sophia Nault. See a lot of that tonight. Raiders spreading the field, and there's Riley White with one of the Raider captains pushing that ball up the field. Throw in here for the Raiders. Big throw. Ran Sinichi on it, but the Wildcats decide to kick that ball out of bounds. Yeah, Raiders throw deep in their territory. Raiders with a good opportunity, a little too big of a step there. Puts the ball in, and the goalkeeper for River Falls, that would be number 1, Addie Johnson, picking that ball up and giving it a punt. Ball into Raider territory. Wildcats trying to push it up. Sending the ball wide. It's a nice play by the Wildcats. Quick turn to put it into the middle. Nice little dish pass by the Wildcats there. Nobody home to do anything dramatic with it, but they do hold on to the ball. Wildcats looks like an offsides call on the Wildcats is going to put a halt to that. Offensive surge by the Wildcats. Some good passing there and moving the ball quickly for the Wildcats, but it didn't ultimately turn into any sort of shot or scoring attempt. Raiders now push the ball up the field. It's a good take there by Allie Stubendick. Over to Sophia Nault in the corner. Brings it back to Grace Hansen. Does a little cut move. Winds up for a shot or cross, one or the other, but ooh, nice play there. Grace Lewis in the right spot, gets a little shot on, but nicely played by Addie Johnson of the Wildcats in goal there. Wildcats going deep. Does get picked up by Wildcat left striker. Nice pass in. Clear by the Raiders, but Wildcats pick it up. Right now the Wildcats seem a step faster in a lot of cases than the Raiders. Little through ball there. Gets it through. Stubendick. Sophia Nault picks it up. Gives a little dish pass to Grace Hansen, who gets a bigger shot off, but still not quite enough, and picked up again by Addie Johnson of the Wildcats. Got a Raiders throw. It's going to be Hannah Huntley with the throw. Gets it down to Rancinici. Little collision. Rancinici plays it back nicely. Nault with a quick cross. Little Stubendick with a good attempt to get that ball under control, but just gets away from her. Maybe a little handball or a foul there, and the Raiders going to give the Wildcats a free kick. About 5 minutes into the first half, our score remains 0-0. Kylie Newis taking the ball away on defense and putting that ball out of bounds. Be a Wildcats throw-in. Quick turn there by the Wildcats. Seeing what they can put together here on the offensive side. They just endured a strong Raider attack that didn't lead to any goals, but and then they send a through ball. Wildcats are there. They get a cross in, but Hannah Kendhammer with a fantastic save, laying her body out to take that ball away from any Wildcats that were looking to take that low, close cross, and nicely played by Kendhammer. A little too much physicality there by Hannah Cook of the Wildcats, holding her ground, but still a little too much hand checking, I think, and ref calls a foul. There's a dish out, just a tough angle there on that pass. Wildcats step it up. Oh, Jillian Brown with a big step. Nice play, Jillian. It's Riley White feeding it up to Rancinici. There's a little takeaway by Rancinici, gets a foot on it. Quick cut by Grace Hansen, another quick cut. Winds up, oh, whoa, Raiders with a good opportunity there. Grace Hansen with a few good cut moves, tries to feed it to Rancinici, but it's a little out of Armana's reach. Hannah Huntley with a step up there. Over to Sophia Nault, who's gonna send it out to a wide open area. And there's Riley White picking it up with plenty of room to carry it, which she's doing. Goes for a left-footed cross, doesn't quite get under it, and taken off by the Wildcats, but back in Riley White's hands. Tenacious defense here from the Wildcats once it's in the zone here, and the Raiders' attempt to score there is ended, but looks like defensively they've recouped and taken the ball back already. Grace Lewis here with the ball at midfield. Kicked out by the Wildcats, will be a throw-in for the Raiders. Slight injury here, stopping the clock. And we'll have some substitutions. In for the Wildcats, number 7, Olivia Derry. Hannah Huntley. It's a good physical back and forth there between both teams. Wildcats kick it out of bounds though, so it'll be a Raiders throw. Here comes Hannah Huntley. To Nault. Nault's got some speed, and she used it there. Ball gets out to Grace Lewis. It's a little chip from behind, and Wildcats take that ball back, and they're just going to send it deep and see if they can outrun the Raiders' defense. That ball was well paced, though, so tough to win that one. Wildcats taking a longer attempt there, about a 34-yard strike wide of the goal. In for the Wildcats, number 12, Ailey Lassie. Big kick for the Raiders there. Yeah. Wildcats playing quite physical so far in this first half. Rancinici gets kind of run over from behind there, and obvious foul called. Maggie McConnell sends one far. Oh, another big push from behind. So Raiders get a closer free kick here that can start to become more dangerous, because this can be treated like a corner kick, kind of a chip shot into the scoring area, and only thing Raiders got to do is be careful of offsides here. And they should be able to put this ball into a dangerous spot. Eight defenders back with the goalkeeper against 4 strikers of the Raiders. Little misplays there by the Raiders, and kind of a high cross, a little heavy on that foot, and not going to result in a scoring attempt for the Raiders. But we're now over 10 minutes into the first half, and score is still notched at a 0-0 tie. Wildcats send it wide, but a little out of reach and a little high, so the Raiders will get a throw in back here. Here's Hannah Huntley with the throw. Going down to Rancinici in the corner. Plays it back to Huntley, who tries to sneak it through to Nault. And again, some physical play especially by the defense here of the Wildcats. That has to be by design, because it's kind of every play down there when they can. But nonetheless, important to play physically, as long as it's within the scope of the game. And the Raiders try to sneak one through again, and picked up by Addie Johnson of the Wildcats, who will give it a punt. Grace Lewis with a nice step-up play there. Kind of left with all she could do is kind of poke that forward and hope something happened. Sometimes that's what happens in soccer. Sometimes when you see that, you think, why did she do that? But sometimes that's all you've got based on what's happening around you. It's a nice through ball there, trying to feed Nault coming in from the far side. But Wildcats were there. A little push off by the Raiders there is going to give Wildcats a free kick. Comes the kick by the Wildcats. Big ball up. Riley White putting it up deep. Wildcats pick that ball up. Stubendick plays it off but looks like it's going to be a Wildcats throw. Like maybe Stubendick played that off the Wildcats. Into Rancinici. Takes a tough bounce off Armana there. Comes a run by the Wildcats, but that ball sneaks out of bounds.
In for the Raiders, number 24, Olivia Petty.
So Olivia Petty in the game. Olivia often brings some offense to the table for the Raiders, and we'll see if she can provide a little spark here around the 15-minute mark to get the Raiders going here. Nice takeaway there by Grace Lewis. Grace sends it across. Stubedick chases the Wildcats and is able to get something on the ball. Not sure which way this one is going. Looks like nobody saw it, and they're going to give the Raiders a throw. I think it's the right call. All three refs were kind of looking at each other. That was a tough one to read. I think they got it right though. It's Petty with the over to Stubedick. Ellie with a kind of a whiff on that, but still able to hold the ball. Riley White tries to feed it in, but the angle is tough. Good talk there, Maggie McConnell with a nice ball up into the dangerous territory, but Addie Johnson of the Wildcats is there again to pick that ball up and end the Raiders' scoring attempt. Wildcats trying to sneak one through again. Good step up by Petty there. Takes that pass away and maintains control. Good take back there by the Wildcats though. Goes down for a little slide tackle and able to get the ball and get possession of it. Wildcats with a solid attempt here, but nonetheless there was offside, so that would have not counted, but it was still good penetration, good scoring attempt for the Wildcats there. Hannah Kendhammer, though, again played that solidly. It wasn't going to score anyway, but still a good attempt for the Wildcats. Raiders defense playing the challenge there a little bit. Wildcats again going for a through ball, but that one's a little too deep. And Raiders shield that ball and let it run out of bounds. Will be a goal kick for the Raiders. Kendhammer with a big kick. Deflected by Lilia Gray of the Wildcats, but then taken by the Raiders, pushed over to the sideline, and that's going to be a Wildcats throw.
In for the Raiders, number 19, Navia Tillman.
throw.
In for the Raiders, number 22, Natalie Ramthen.
We're now pushing into about halfway through the first half and sitting on a 0-0 tie at this point. Both teams showing some promising offensive possessions, but no one getting a true solid strike on the net yet, which is why we're sitting at a 0-0 tie. Good step up there by Ramthen. We're fresh into the game. Natalie's a freshman, so getting some good opportunity here to get into the game. He might be. It is, yeah. Yeah. Then don't do it. He'll yell at us if he wants to. So, yeah. Yeah, I think you're good. So, little. little figuring of things out here in the booth. Trying to understand some of the referees' hand calls and things like that, so we know how to best run the clock and share it with you. Still at 0-0. Quick through ball through, gets a little too far, and Wildcats pick that up, and we'll have a punt here. Wildcats again pushing up into the offensive side here to see a quick little pass around. It's going to take some speed, and I think she just missed it. Heck of a play, heck of an effort, but it's going to be a goal kick for the Raiders. That ball went out of bounds pretty clearly. We have a few substitutions here.
Back into the game for the Raiders, number 11, Armana Ransanici. And for the Wildcats, number 4, Kaylin Jelowitz. Number 15, Elliot Bell. And number 26, Natalie Rotzer.
Raiders pushing it up with a nudge from behind. And Ramthen there picks it up. Tries to give a little dish, maybe just not quite enough on that ball. And the Wildcats take it, and they're going to see if they can come back and put it through and try again. Nice play there by Hannah Huntley to work that ball away. That ball got saved from being out of bounds, and Wildcats again, they're going to send one in deep, and the Raiders deflect that pass, which sometimes can be dangerous for your goalkeeper, but Hannah Kendhammer played that really well. She didn't call for that ball from what I heard, so the deflection was, that's going to happen, especially if the goalkeeper is not calling it. But by not calling it, Kendhammer also was expecting maybe that would happen. So Nault tries for a quick shot there on the outside, and Sophia with a hard foul there. Taking a little pushing on both sides, and going to have a injury timeout here.
In for the Wildcats, number 6, Lilia Gray.
It's number 17, Belle Scow, a captain, junior captain for River Falls, taking the hard shot there and stepping off the field. We'll hope she's okay and will be back into the game shortly. It's been a physical matchup, especially the defense of the Wildcats, with several fouls on the Raiders forwards, and now this foul by Sophia Nault. Ref has called every one of them, so I think he's doing what he can do. And we'll get back to soccer here. Grace Lewis dishing it out to Olivia Petty, but gets a little out of her way, and that'll be a Wildcats throw. Raiders trying to keep that ball, but the Wildcats are pushing it up. Maybe like an offense or some type of a handball there, but the Wildcats keep the ball but send a pretty firm through ball through that was easily collected by Hannah Kendhammer of the Raiders. Big punt here by Hannah. The Wildcats eventually end up with the ball. We're going to try to push it up. There's Maggie McConnell letting that ball ride out of bounds. She plays it wisely, shielding the ball. Be a Raiders goal kick. Just recently got into the YouTube live stream, and Scotty Thompson, thanks for posting some comments. We're glad to see you and glad your dad is checking out the game from Superior, Wisconsin. Always good to have fans checking out the game. If anybody else is watching, please post where you are and who you're rooting for, if anyone, and that goes for River Falls fans too. We just enjoy having everybody tuning in and watching some good spring soccer here in western Wisconsin. A few nice moves there by number 6, Lilia Gray, eventually moved by the Raiders, but then brought back by the Wildcats. Yes, Scotty, this game should be archived for a while at least on the YouTube channel. So sometimes the games are posted live and then they're pulled down temporarily as a little editing work or adding voiceover type of enhancements happen. And again, the Wildcats here with an opportunity, and it just gets away. That striker on the right side, I can't necessarily see her number, but she's earning her keep today with some hard charges for the ball.
Number 7, Olivia Derry in the game for the Wildcats.
Quick turn there by Grace Lewis up the sideline, tapped out by the Wildcats. Will give the Raiders a throw. We're now about 27 minutes into the first half and a 0-0 tie between these two crosstown rivals. It's always an intense matchup here. Maggie McConnell with a little step up, just diverted that ball a little bit at least and slowed down the Wildcats' attack. On defense, sometimes that's all you get, but it helps a lot. Here's Ramthan over to Petty and up to Grace Lewis. Petty again picks that ball up, Tries to send it up the sideline, but nobody really home to collect that one. It's going to be a Raiders throw-in. Be a Wildcats throw-in and a substitution.
Number 3, Hannah Cook in the game for the Wildcats.
Little feet tangling there by the Raiders is going to give the Wildcats a free kick, kind of in a dangerous territory. Big kick in, but Raiders are able to take it. Little collision there, little extra arm by Grace Hansen. Raiders got to kind of get some of these fouls under control. They're starting to be a little too much, especially down here deep in territory. Wildcats going to get a kick here. It's Lilia Gray with the kick. She sends it low. Kendhammer easily collects that one, and Raiders get out of that situation about as good as you can. Inadvertent handball by the Wildcats will give the Raiders a free kick. Coach Sullen pushing them to get that ball off quickly. Doesn't materialize. There's Huntley putting a big kick on off of a Wildcat, but then collected by Natalie Ramthen. Back to the Wildcats. Be a Wildcats throw-in. Under 10 minutes in the half, score 0-0. Throw in here for the Wildcats. Ramthen picks that ball up. Tries to sneak it through, but no one home for that pass. Navia Tillman robbed by, but takes it back. Nice play by Navia. Sends it up, a little out of reach. Kicked out of bounds by the Wildcats. Raiders will get a deep throw. Some subs in for the Raiders. Ransonichi with the ball, brings it back. It's kind of side mistimed kick. In for the Raiders, number 9, Britta Holter. Number 16, Allie Stubendick. Number 18, Riley White. And number 21, Kylie Newis. Wildcats play that ball out wide. Good hustle save. Ball went out of bounds, though. It should be a Raiders throw. Down to about 7.5 minutes in the half. Britta Holter with the throw into Grace Hansen. Sneaks all the way through, but Jillian Brown with a good clear there. Raiders are just kind of getting beat to a lot of balls right now, and not sure if it's anticipation or what, but Wildcats are winning quite a few 50-50 balls right now. There's Stubendick playing it out to Grace Hansen. Ooh, really good play by Grace Lewis. Just not able to get quite enough on that ball through the defense there. Maggie McDonald out there on it. Kicks it out. Will be a Wildcats throw. Can't get a number on that substitute yet. Throw in by the Wildcats. Played off the Wildcats, should be a Raiders goal kick. And calling a corner kick. It's Addison Lemke, number 11, in for the Wildcats. All right. I think this is the first corner kick of the match. Wildcats are going to have it. It's always a scary opportunity. It's a free opportunity to put it in the scoring zone, and Raiders kind of let that get through, but Hannah Kindhammer was there, and I think she played it off of a Wildcat because it looks like it's going to be a goal kick, and solid play by the Raiders there. Oh, actually watching the replay, Wildcats just kicked that ball out of bounds. Kindhammer never touched it. Raiders fighting it out. A little tangle, but that happens. There's a nice play by Stubendick. Gets it out to Ransonici in the clear. Mana stops it. She goes for a cut play. Nice. Now she gets a nice cross on. Oh, Grace Hansen. Or Grace Lewis, sorry. Both those Graces. What an opportunity. That was beautifully played. Beautiful cut back by Ransonici. Beautiful left-footed cross. Grace Lewis there in the right spot. She's got some height, gets a beautiful header on it, times it pretty well, but just sends it high of the goal. Heck of an opportunity for the Raiders there. Nice play. We're now down to about 4.5 minutes in the first half. Still 0-0 tie. Oh, really nice play there by Grace Lewis. Sends it out. Nobody was actually taking the sideline attempt, but Grace. Oh, nice play, Grace Lewis. She is all over the field, making things happen. Number 9, Britta Holter with the throw. Grace Hansen playing around with it, getting muscled hard, but nothing necessarily illegal there. Decide to bring it back. Jillian Brown's going to send it out wide. Grace Lewis picks it up. Ball off the referee. Used to be if it hit the referee, you just played on. Now, I guess it depends on the referee, but I've seen it both ways. Sometimes refs just let the ball play. Sometimes they'll call a stoppage and give the team that had the advantage the ball. I'm not sure there was a real advantage there, but the refs are doing the best they can, and we'll let them go. Here's number 9. Britta Holter. Little play down in the corner, gets away from Britta. Be a goal kick for the Wildcats.
Maggie Garish in the game, number 5 for the Wildcats.
Deep ball up. Maggie McConnell is on it. Nice cut back by Maggie. I think everybody thought she was going to kind of carry that ball down, and her cutback surprised everybody, but her pass up was just a little bit off. There's Grace Hansen with a nice steal. Grace sends it wide. Good play over to Stubendick. Some harassing D there on Stubendick, but she's able to keep the ball moving positively. A little tangling of players there, running into each other a bit, but now down to about a minute and a half in this first half of 0-0 soccer. Still a lot of time to make things happen. Ooh, Grace Lewis with a really nice play there. Decides to play it back. Unfortunately, nobody there on that angle. Britta Holter there with a nice play in. Pops a header in. Nice play by Holter. Clear by the Wildcats. Kylie Newis fighting it out. Some nice defense there. Raiders send it in deep. All the Wildcats can do is clear that ball. Grace Lewis again flying in there to make things happen. Now down to about 45 seconds, both teams subbing. I think we'll just let this ride. We only got about 30 seconds. Play there by the Raiders a little bit, and Wildcats take it back. Here's Hansen still fighting for it. A lot of hand checking, a lot of body.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. It's the halftime. Please visit our concession stands for some delicious halftime treats.
All right, folks, we'll be back in a short bit after a break. All right, folks, here we are back for the second half of this game of the Big Rivers Conference. I don't know why I keep throwing city in there, but Big Rivers Conference tournament. End of the season tournament of the top 4 teams. Raiders taking on hometown Raiders in blue of Hudson, taking on the visiting River Falls Wildcats of River Falls High School in white. River Falls is playing left to right on your screen, and the Raiders in blue from right to left on your screen. So one of the bigger rivalries for the Raiders right here is the Wildcats. They are very neighboring towns, and these kids know each other probably pretty well from years of playing. Ooh, Raiders with a big opportunity there. Collision with the goalkeeper. But that was tight. Raiders very close to scoring there. Little collision with the goalkeeper. She had the ball anyway, but foul is called, which is going to give a free kick. Wildcats may have been better off letting the goalkeeper pick up that ball and punt it, but foul is called nonetheless. And goes out of bounds. Will be a Raiders throw-in. Stubendick with the throw. Sends it into Ransonici. Through ball in. Again, another tight play. Sophia Nault streaking in, but a nice play by the goalkeeper. Raiders maybe looking to challenge the River Falls goalkeeper. She looks, she's been up to the task all day. But they're going to go after it here, it looks like, and try to time some balls right in there. Raiders now Kick that ball out will be a goal kick here for the Wildcats. So thanks again for tuning in to this River Channel broadcast. I'm joined with my colleague John Tangen in the technical side. John does he really does all the work. I just show up and talk, and he does a great job setting up the live stream and the audio, and then he and his team do a lot of editing later to get this looking as good as possible. So I'm Jeff Ian, I'm the announcer, former Hudson traveling coach of many years, and coached a lot of soccer for school districts of Minnesota for a number of years, and just enjoy staying with the game here. Wildcats again coming back and getting their own interesting opportunity, but the ball gets off the Raiders. Be a throw in here. Little chip ball. Wildcats getting some opportunity here. Nobody home for the little chip pass, though, and the Raiders will kick it out of bounds. It'll be a Wildcats throw in. It's been a fun game because both offenses have done some nice things, and both defenses are being challenged and are so far up to the task. So a very balanced game. Hard to say who's really controlled this one. I'd probably say the Raiders have possessed the ball a bit more. But both sides with some solid opportunities. Here's Jillian Brown on the defensive side, kicking that ball up deep. Stubendick comes in a little hard. That was not a very flagrant. It was a shoulder-to-shoulder hit, but definitely foul worthy. Wildcats coach pleading his case that the Raiders have had some hard fouls. I'd say the Raiders have maybe had the harder fouls, but the Wildcats have probably had more fouls throughout the match. If there was going to be a card on the Raiders, the first foul earlier in the first half was the more card-worthy. This was not card-worthy in my opinion. Definitely a foul, but we again will hope for the best for Kaylin. Kaylin Jelowitz, it looks like, is the one heading off the field. Looks like her ankle maybe got twisted under her, which is unfortunate, but could happen. But we'll hope a little work with the trainer will get that loosened up and she's back on the field. So we're just waiting for her to get off the field, and then the Wildcats will have a free kick here at a very dangerous spot. It's like a nice corner kick because you kind of get to flow this ball the way your body normally moves. Corner kicks sometimes kind of work against the way your body's moving, and they're going to be able to put this ball, they should be able to put it right into the sweet scoring area to see what happens. That one's a little high, a little long. Really well handled by Hannah Kendhammer. We've seen some nice play out of both goalkeepers. And Raiders are back on the attack. Raiders trying to sneak that through a lot of traffic, and Wildcats take it away. I have a feeling, though, this one's going to get only more physical. Raiders took the first meeting of these two teams, I believe, with a 4-0 victory down in River Falls, and so I'm sure River Falls is looking for some revenge. Jillian Brown played that well, but kind of ran into a little trouble. There's Grace Hansen with trying to put that ball up deep to Rancinici. Sophia Nault using her speed and some ball placement really well. There's a pretty good hit there on Nault going at full speed. So again, you know, we're seeing the fouls and the hard fouls by both teams here. Ref is on top of it, making calls, and I think he's made the right calls so far. He's called all the fouls, and Raiders now will have a kick in the dangerous territory. Maggie McConnell. That's in a nice spot. Riley White tries to get something on it, but her angle was not real positive to get that ball on net. I think she was trying to chip it more and hope somebody could get to that, but good play by Riley. Going to be now a kick for the Wildcats. Good defense there by Maggie McConnell, getting the clear for the Raiders, but Wildcats pick it back up. Now about 6 minutes. Ooh, a little dangerous pass there, but the Raiders get away with it. Raiders sending it up the line there to Nault. Again uses her speed nicely. Rancinici in the middle, trying to keep it going. Stubendick there. The ball's a little too bouncy for her to do much with it, and River Falls defense holds. Big ball in by Huntley. Throw in here for the Wildcats. That ball was out of bounds, hit the referee, and it's the right call. Raiders get a quick throw, but the Wildcats take it, but the Raiders take it back. There's Rancinici, a little too much of a touch there, and Wildcats get it cleared. Comes a throw by Hannah Huntley for the Raiders. Getting it up the line there to Grace Hansen. Nice play there by Huntley to outside foot and move that ball. Kind of sends it to a nice angle, but nobody there. Riley White picks it up and gets it out wide to Stubendick. Nice little step move by Stubendick. Sends it really out wide nicely to Sophia Nault. This is some nice ball movement by the Raiders. Nault with a push off there. She's getting a warning here from the referee. It's a second foul, and Raiders keep it going now. Riley White gets it, sends it out to Stubendick. Kind of goes off her foot at a tough angle there. Ball sneaks through for the Wildcats. They're going to get a chance to move it down the field. Jillian Brown playing strong, though. Got some substitutions here for the Wildcats. Into the game for the Wildcats, number 7, Olivia Derry. And number 26, Natalie Rotzert. And that's the Wildcats with a good opportunity there. Sets it a little long and high, though. Number 24, Olivia Petty in the game for the Raiders. Stubendick getting a breather, and Sophia Nault moving to the left side of the field now. See if maybe She can get some penetration over there versus the right side. Good play there by Hannah Huntley to move that ball. Raiders in the middle of the field playing some tough D there. There's Petty controlling this ball at the midfield up to Grace Hansen, who sends the ball up far. Oh, Raiders play that off of the Wildcats. That's going to be a Raiders throw. That's really a nice play by Jillian Brown. Wildcats were trying to let that ball get out, and it wasn't quite, and Jillian wraps her leg around and kicks it off of the Wildcats. So Raiders get an interesting opportunity here. Good ball in by Hansen. Ransonici just can't quite time it, but she sends a quick shot. Good left-footed shot by Ransonici. Nice save by, there's another one. There's it. Whoa, two great plays by Ransonici. Two nice saves by number 1, Addie Johnson, goalkeeper for the Wildcats, but the Raiders will have a corner kick on top of it all. Some exciting action here by the Raiders. Corner kick opportunity. Bringing it back to McConnell instead of kicking that ball deep, and it's going to end up being a Raiders throw-in, so not much off that corner kick attempt, unfortunately. Jillian Brown pulls it back and tries to sneak across through McConnell. A lot of collisions. This game is getting heated and physical. There's a nice ball in, too. Ransonici gets it over to, I think that's Sophia Nault back on the right side now. Sneaks a little cross through. And that's going to be a corner kick for the Raiders. Big clear by the Wildcats. I think she was trying to get that out of bounds as a throw-in, but that was a spinner, and it's going to be a corner kick. And Olivia Petty looks like she's going to take that for the Raiders. Boy, I thought Ransonici was going to put one of those in, but some nice play by the goalkeeper and a little off-balance shot. That's a nice ball by Petty, right where the Raiders want it. Whew, it's kind of bouncy and all over the place, but Raiders don't get on it, and the Wildcats clear it. Wildcats with some numbers here. They had 4 on 3. Raiders have some midfielders finally made it back, and it's a big cross. Little too much on that one, and tough ball to hit with your right foot running at that speed the way the ball was angling, and Raiders will get a goal kick to end that run by the Wildcats. We're now over 12 minutes into the second half. Our score still remains 0-0 in a really, it's been a fun match to watch so far. Lots of action. Nault into Ransonici. Tries to just kick it in an angle, hoping somebody's there. Seen both teams kind of try that. They're kicking, hoping people will be where they're not, versus taking a look to see where they're going to be and taking a little more time. And but here we go. Ooh, yep. Trip on Nault. It's going to give the Raiders again. This is a ball where it can be very dangerous. They're going to try to chip that ball probably right about to where the football end zone is if they can, and try to time that and pound something in. So here we go. Looks like Olivia Petty and Grace, or Maggie McConnell. Maggie's going to take it. Nope. She's not. Yeah, Wildcats have got to give space. She wasn't given space from the get-go. Olivia Petty goes for a big shot. Oh, my goodness. About 1 foot high, just above the crossbar. Olivia Petty, nice attempt. But score remains 0-0. The winner of this, I believe, moves on to play in the little conference tournament final. So I'm not sure what will happen. They're not going to play overtime. So I believe the Raiders were the top seed in the conference. So I'm going to speculate that means the Raiders would advance if it's a tie. So, and then sectionals will start next week, section playoffs. So inadvertent handball there for the Wildcats, and the Raiders will get a free kick off of that. We're now about 15 minutes into the second half. Exciting game. Jillian Brown with the throw into Petty. Olivia gives it back to Jillian Brown, who gets a nice cross off. Is anybody there? Nope. But number 1, Addie Johnson of the Wildcats is there. Addie looks like she's not the tallest goalkeeper, but she's playing big tonight and playing really well. She knows where to be, and she's aggressive. So solid play by Jillian Brown, and Wildcats kind of play a little more body on that than was necessary, and the Raiders get the foul called, and will be a free kick here for the Raiders. Maggie McConnell about to take that kick. Maggie is one of the freshmen on this team, and Maggie is having a great season as a freshman starter for the Raiders. In for the Wildcats, number 10, Paige O'Hara. Number 19, Hazel Schmidt. Jillian Brown trying to advance that with a header, but didn't quite get a lot on it, but the Raiders get it back. Ball gets out to, oof. Offside's called, but I gotta say I'm not sure where that was, but maybe it happened before the play developed. Sometimes offsides happens and they wait to see how the play develops before making the call. So Wildcats kick. Kylie Newis with some good defense there, stepping up. Kind of got held a little bit and still was able to fight that off, but puts the ball out of bounds. Nice play by Ransonici there to tap it and move around. Gets it out to Sophia Nault. And that's going to be a Raiders throw. Game of inches, and that looked like almost could have been a corner kick, which I think Nault was focusing on. Number 9, Britta Holter in the game for your Raiders. Quick throw in. Nault with a heavy kick. Nice ball, little tight to the goal though. But a nice attempt there for the Raiders to make something happen. Kylie Newis again playing some tough D, forcing that ball out of bounds. That's half the battle for the defense, is to force that ball where you want it, and that's going to be a Raiders throw. Raiders back on D now. Wildcats trying to make something happen, and the Raiders playing strong. Get that ball up. It's Grace Hansen down there. May have been referring to Grace Hansen as Jillian Brown a few times, so sorry about that, Grace Lewis. And Britta Holter with the tap out. Be a Wildcats throw in. Britta kind of all over the field, playing some midfield forward earlier in the game and now playing some defense in the second half of the game. Good communication there by the Raiders, Hannah Kendhammer, to get that ball held off. And there we go. Two Raiders appear to be moving, but Olivia Petty eventually gets a head on it, but sends that ball out of bounds. Looks like Allie Stubendick gearing up to come back into the game. Nice play by Petty. Gets a good turn, takeaway and turn. Unfortunately, pass gets disrupted. Looks like a couple subs for the Raiders. In for the Raiders, number 16, Allie Stubendick. Big ball up. It's Grace Lewis fighting it out. Kicked out of bounds. It'll be a Raiders throw. We're now halfway through the second half, and this game remains a tense 0-0. Woo! It's a goodie. These are fun to watch. A little quick sub for the Raiders. Not exactly sure what happened or who came in, so we'll let that one go. Good play there by, oh, there's a trip. Stubendick with a really nice turn and sets that up well. Now the Raiders get a very good opportunity here. This is right where you want it, and they've knocked on the door throughout this half on plays like that's a nice ball. And there's a quick head. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Grace Lewis, I believe, again gets a nice head on it and moves it almost perfectly to where she wants it, and it just goes wide of the goal. It's twice for Grace on headers. And now the Wildcats streaking down, trying to make something happen. Raiders will be back on D, but they're going to get a chance to put this ball across, and they scored. A big goal for the Wildcats. Nicely timed and played. That's a goal for the Wildcats, number 19, Hazel Schmidt. Have to say that was a very nice play by the Wildcats. Streaked down, they got the cross off. Not a high cross, but in a tough spot for Hannah Kendhammer to get on the ball. It was a little far out and just timed perfectly by Schmidt was in the right place and timed it well to have a pretty open goal to score on. So here we go. Wildcats draw first blood. There's still 17 minutes, lots of time in this match for the Raiders to get back into it. Kind of a miss hit there by the Raiders is going to give the Wildcats a corner kick now. Here it comes. It's a nice ball. Inadvertent handball by the Wildcats is going to give the Raiders a free kick here. Raiders do have to think a little bit about time here. They need to they need to make some things happen. And with about 16 minutes left in this match, that's plenty of time, but it's also not a lot of time. So, but they need to make sure they don't play too desperate here and keep their wits and play smart. No crazy penalties. And some good team play. Navia Tillman with a great throw to Nault, who's got the speed. She gets around. Collision, but not a foul. Not a foul. That's a good straight up shoulder to shoulder type takeaway by the Wildcats. That's a tough shot right off the head. And we're going to stop the clock here. Tough hit off the head on number 4, Jillian Brown, but that looked more like a stunner. Probably hit her and maybe hit her in the nose a bit. And it's like Hannah Huntley coming back into the match. Number 8, Hannah Huntley in the game for the Raiders. Raiders give it a ride off that. Huntley with the ball on the far side. Trying to send it up the line, but the Wildcats are right there. So Olivia Petty with another nice takeaway. Or no, that's Riley White with a takeaway. Off balance play by the Wildcats. Going to give the Raiders a throw in. They're getting it in quick to Grace Lewis, who gets in a nice spot. She plays it. That's fair play. Played it low, tried to get it in. Goalkeeper pops back up and is able to pick that up. So Addie Johnson again. Addie Johnson again coming up with a nice save. My partner John being patient with me and my mic. Sorry if you're missing a little bit of what I'm saying. My mic keeps moving with my excitement a bit. Now down to about 14 minutes in this match. Ball into Ramthen, over to Petty, who's going to send a high ball up. Grace Lewis is going to be, or no, that's Stubendick, maybe? Tries to chase it too far. It's going to be a goal kick for the Wildcats. Be a Wildcats throw. Ball off of Tillman goes out of bounds. Now down to about 13 minutes. Quick turn in there by the Wildcats, but the Raiders are able to block that. Here comes Petty. Nice play in the middle. She's going to send it up. It's a little too far out of reach, though. A little too straight down the field. These balls need to be a little more angled out or a little higher to give the strikers a chance to really get on it. But in the heat of the moment, it's awfully hard to do things perfectly. Riley White sends it up the field. The Wildcats are just going to kick that out of bounds, and quick throw for the Raiders. There's Sophia Nault. It's going to get it into Olivia Petty. Gives a cut back. Gets blocked. Everybody's missing the ball here. Tillman with a nice block to keep it down there. Maggie McConnell, nice chest trap, and tries to deliver it. And there's Sophia Nault coming back nicely for it along the sideline. She dishes it out to Grace Lewis. Raiders are winning a lot of balls now. They're just not able to connect on too many passing combinations to advance the ball. Wildcats not really giving the Raiders the opportunity to spend a lot of time with the ball, which is obviously what you want, and it's working for them right now. Raiders are trying to make something happen, but the Wildcats are all over every ball. They're smelling the potential victory here with about 10 minutes now, 11 minutes left in the match. Still a lot of time. Seen the Raiders score easily within that time frame. Earlier this season, Armana Rancinici actually scored twice in about 30 seconds. Ramthen gets the ball in the middle of the field, but just a high bouncer, so not real great for her to do anything with. It's going to be a Wildcats throw. They're going to try to move this quick. Oh, nope. Now you'll see the Wildcats probably subbing on every opportunity, trying to work that clock a little bit. Number 7, Olivia Derry in the game for the Wildcats. A little too wide for the Raiders, and we're now down to under 10 minutes in the match. River Falls Wildcats holding on to a 1-0 lead. It's been a very balanced game. A tight score is indicative of what we've seen in the play so far. Sophia Nault with a really nice play there. Sneaks the ball through a little bit high. Lewis picks her up, comes back. Stubendick on it in the corner. Huntley with a little more on there and gets out of bounds. Into the game for the Raiders, number 11, Armana Rancinici, and number 12, Grace Hansen. Raiders gearing up for a final push. Rancinici is one of their top scorers, and Grace Hansen is a solid setup player. River Falls already has someone lined up to come in. We'll probably see that throughout, although referee's discretion. A little fog coming in. There's some Canadian wildfires keeping the smog down, but the field is starting. You can kind of see a fog in the air. Into the game for the Wildcats, number 26, Natalie Rotsert. Down to under 8 minutes in the match. Little hold by the Raiders there is going to slow this one down and give Wildcats a throw or a free kick. Wildcats are going to use every second of this that they can. And it's going to push us under 7 minutes. And here we go. Raiders steal that attempt. Ramthen pushes that ball up. They're trying to get it up quickly. Too much pressure there. Stopping the clock. Olivia Derry with a yellow card. Yep, number 7. She was on the ground and really extended her leg out to trip and stop the play. It's going to be a yellow card almost every time you see that type of play. And tripping. You could say tripping / foul. So the player with the yellow card has to leave the game. They can sub that person. So clock will start when the ball is kicked. Big ball in by McConnell. It's a nice ball. And ooh, and they scored an own goal. That is a own goal for the Raiders. A nice ball in by McConnell. Wildcats try to head that ball out, but it goes awry, and we've got a tie game. That's a goal for the Raiders on an own goal. I think you just put own goal. I think you just put own goal. You could actually say, I guess you could give credit to that to Maggie McConnell, number 6. It's when it's off your own team. So now it's a whole nother game with about 6 minutes left. 1-1. Tie, I have to imagine, goes to the Raiders to advance in this little mini end of the season tournament. So the Wildcats will now be the ones very passionate to score. That tripping penalty really haunting the Wildcats right now. Really probably was not a necessary thing to do, but you do what you do sometimes. And Wildcats kick that one out of bounds. Will be a Raiders. I guess they're saying it's off the Raiders. So Wildcats are going to get an interesting opportunity here. It's a chance to put it in the dangerous territory. Wildcats are sending an awful lot. They got 9 players up ready to score, or 8. And played it off a little bit. Now you might see the Raiders playing a subbing game. Here we go. Pushing into the last 5 minutes. Hannah Kendhammer with a big kick. Ransonici fighting that for that. Hannah Huntley with a nice header. Olivia Petty with a nice turn in the middle of the field. Nice cutback. Sends it out wide to Grace Hansen. It's going to send it up wide. Raiders would love to put another one on the board here. There's Sophia Nault, again showing her speed, but just not able to get that ball off of the Wildcats or across. So about 4 minutes left in the match now. The Wildcats get a goal kick. Petty with the ball, getting held the entire way, but no call. Good step up by Huntley. Sophia Nault, it's a high bouncer, tough to move that ball. We're now under 4 minutes. Our game is tied 1-1. Raiders and Wildcats. Be a Raiders throw. Ball into Ransonici, who can do some tricky things, and there's a good ball, just a little high. No, Sophia Nault was there, just a little high. Petty tries to set up, took a little more time than she was going to get, though, and the defense closes. Now down to about 3.5 minutes. Raiders throw in. Raiders have rebounded well here. Really solid shot by Maggie McConnell into the goal area and deflected by the Wildcats into their own goal. So an own goal, but Maggie McConnell owns that one, and the Raiders will hold on to a 1-1 tie for now. Under 3 minutes. Here we go. Another Wildcat throw in here. Very tense. Tense among the fans, tense among the players in this rivalry match. These teams will play in different sectional tournaments because of their different sizes of the schools. And now Wildcats getting another corner kick. They're certainly getting their opportunities here in the end to try to take this one back. Low ball in. That's going to be a tough one to get through. Grace Hansen fighting it out in the middle of the field. They got to bring it all the way back. We're now down to 2 minutes. Good takeaway there. Grace Lewis with a nice play there, advancing it up the field. That's really what the Raiders want, is to get it as far up the field. Grace Lewis with the throw into Olivia Petty, who gets by her. A lot of holding and pushing there. Ref's letting some of that go, which is his prerogative. Another ball out of bounds by the Wildcats. Down to about 1 minute and 20 seconds now. Nevaeh Tillman gets it in to Riley White. Gets it into Grace Lewis, and it just goes out of bounds. It'll be a Raiders throw again. Goes for Ransonici. Brings it back to Lewis, who pops one in. There's Sophia Nault. This is where she does her damage. Gonna be, not sure what they called there. It's gonna be under a minute now. A lot of tension in the air along with some fog. Raiders trying to, a little too much on that one. Maybe Grace Lewis running as hard as she can. Coach is calling for those balls to be diagonal, not just straight down the field, and he's right. You want to allow that ball to stay in. There's more space for the ball and a better chance for us to get it, the Raiders to get it back. So we're now about to end this game.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I'd like to thank everybody for a exciting match tonight. Both teams, thanks to the coaches, thanks to the ball collectors, special thanks to our officials tonight. Everybody have a good night and drive safely.